You're looking for queens right now?
Yeah, we have an order for 2 queens today.
Actually 3, Count Helen's.
Right, 3. These are our mating dukes, and we're looking for the mated queens.
We want to capture her and cage her with some attendants and take them to their new home. Take her to her new home.
So when you take a queen out of one of the hives, then what will happen? Will the bees be able to make a new one?
They will. Or to save time, we may put in a grafted queen cell. Because we
actually have some virgins right now that we're going to.
What does that mean, a grafted queen?
We kind of artificially produce our own queens by a method known as grafting, which involves taking young larvae out of a cell, out of a normal brood cell, and putting her into a grafted queen cell, and that way we can raise a whole bunch of queens all at once, and have them all ready at the same time. That's what these cell bars are about.
How many will you do?
3 bars.
Push button switch, and then so if you want that, that's there. But as soon as this is unfrozen, it's still frozen. All we really do is just put little dabs in the bottom. Let me see if I can get one that's all right.
That 29 has swarm cells. That was 6-3.
Oh, a little more than that. But
strong and young.
it's because I'm still frozen. But all we want to do is put a little dab in the bottom. Not so much that they're like super swimming in it. Yeah, like that's about right.
Okay. Awesome. Eggs. Oh, really? A lot of eggs. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to hunt for a bit to find the right size ones.
So you kind of push the wax back, you said?
Yeah. Distort the little cell.
I do, but you don't have to.
Push it out.
So this one verges on getting a little on the edge of the big.
Too big.
But I'll take her. She's still not in a donut.
Yeah.
So I'll take her. You got it? You want to see it magnified?
This hurts my eyes.
You're telling me there's an egg there?
No, there's a larvae in the jelly. A little comma-shaped thing.
I can't see that. You can see that?
Well, look at my double magnification going on.
Cool.
This is pretty tricky.
Kelly can see it with her bare eyes.
And this kind of hurts my eyes a little bit.
Did you see?
People who are good at this, they just go like this. They're so fast. You pick it up, put it in. Pick it up, put it in. Pick it up, put it in.
Wow, that's quick.
And that's small.
No, too small for me to see. I can't see that. Oh, the
Right.
little
Yeah.
tiny thing, that's harder to make out.
You see how we figured out like double lighting and double vision? Yes. And a lot of times I'll catch them.
They're kind of peanut shaped.
Yeah, and they really do stick out. There's no missing that. And this is inside. This is the pupae or
The pupa.
pupa.
And this is royal jelly.
Now, the royal jelly, the female bees make that and put that in there?
Yes, the nurse bees. The nurse bees have these tiny glands in their head, and they secrete just micro amounts of this royal jelly, which is a super rich food. That's another.
There's the royal jelly.
Nice picture of a cell. Yeah, the bees trade honey back and forth with their mouth parts, like that.
I'm not scared of them now, but you could see how people be scared. They're kind of spooky looking, alien kind of.
Well, that's one of the things people know about bees is they sting. They're capable of stinging, so there's a certain amount of apprehension.
You're right, caution.
The worker bees, they get fed some royal jelly like the first 3 days, but after that they get a different diet of pollen and honey. But a queen bee gets fed nothing but royal jelly.
The whole time she's alive.
Yes. Well, the whole time she's in the larval stage.
And when she comes out and she's working, she gets regular
then
nectar.
Then they feed her nectar and honey and pollen.
There's no. This isn't honey. These are all eggs, right? So the certain sections of the hive they make just for eggs and certain for honey.
Oh yeah, we keep the queen down in the lower 2 boxes.
And that's where she lays the eggs.
Yeah. And this other thing's a pollen.
That's all pollen, which is food, I guess.
Huh?
What's pollen? The food is pollen? Is food?
Yeah, they feed that to the young worker bees.
Okay, so we graft the queens, we put them back in here. How long until the queens, you have to check them to see how they're coming along.
We'll check them in a few days to see what the acceptance rate was. It won't be 100%.
But the grafting thing we're doing is just a tiny little pupae, right?
You'll see.
How long does it take for the queen to grow? From a week?
16 days.
16 days. Is that pretty certain? I mean, almost like you can set a watch by it?
Yes.
All queens, 16 days.
Yes, it's very time dependent. Which is why we have to remove the queens at a certain time, so that they don't emerge and start fighting with each other.
Right.
Before that happens, we have to isolate them.
All 3.
Now, what are you putting in there? That's a whole honeycomb.
That's all we grafted from.
The one we took the eggs from?
Oh, and then you just put them back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at the little pink dot.
Then I'm going to add some attendants. So these workers will attend to her, will feed her, take care of her until she gets put into another unit. Well, they just transfer nectar from one bee to another with their
Well, there's also
their
a
mouth
queen
parts.
candy, we call it, plugging the hole, the cage.
Right. There's also queen candy in there, and they'll
The
eat.
worker will get that and bring it to the queen.
They'll eat that. Works as a time release mechanism. When this cage is put into a new unit, the intended place for the new queen.
Right.
It takes a while for the bees to chew through the candy, a day or two.
Oh, and then
So
it'll create an
that-
opening for the bees to escape.
Yes, and then that gives the bees time to adjust to the new queen and these other workers.
Will the other bees from the outside also start eating in here?
Yes.
Aha.
No bee wants to be alone, so we'll give her some attendance. The royal court.
And then, of course, these ones are moving to a new hive. How will the other bees adapt to, not the queen, but these guys? Will they say, okay, you can be here?
Given time to adjust to each other, they become friendly and they all become part of the same hive. But it doesn't happen immediately, so
It wouldn't fly back to the other hive. Like if you put that queen 50 yards away, would the workers then find the old? No, because their queen is over there.
the workers could find their way back if they're a flying age, but it's unlikely the queen would find her way back, I think.
Yeah, no, they stay. They're hive people. They don't fly around, right?
They only fly under certain circumstances, like when they're taking their first mating flight, and then later on, if a hive is swarming, the hive can leave the colony in the swarm.
So, if you're working with the bees a lot, as you guys are, can you tell by the state of the hive when it's going to swarm? Are there telltale signs? Like
Yes, if it's like super crowded, and there's like a big beard of bees on the entrance, and
they don't have enough room, so they're.
Yes, exactly.
And when they swarm, well, the whole hive won't go. It'll just some of them.
That's right. Only about half of the bees. The older bees, the ones that are foragers and they already know how to fly. The younger bees that haven't learned to fly yet, that haven't become foragers yet, they're the ones that'll stay behind. And before the swarm leaves, the colony will make preparations to raise a new queen in the natural way, not in the grafted queen cell way that we do. There is a natural queen cell here. Two of them right next to each other.
There's one on the next frame too.
So there's likely a virgin queen in here.
It's not painted.
That's right.
You guys haven't found yet.
Just leave it alone then.
Yeah, this is not a good candidate.
Because you don't want a young virgin queen.
Right.
You leave them. You want to keep that with your hive.
Yes, we want to give her time to
Settle in with her group.
take her mating flight and start laying eggs. So she's not a saleable queen.
This sounds kind of loud too.
Some of these mating nukes did not get our grafted queen cells. Some of them raised natural queen cells right on the comb in the traditional biological way. And I think that's what we have in this unit. We'll see. This is bee bread. That stuff in the center there. It's a mixture of pollen and honey. That's what they feed to the young growing larvae.
So this is just getting going here.
This is a small unit we made up out of a larger, stronger colony.
Ooh, yeah.
Just for the purposes of accepting one of our mated queen cell, grafted queen cells.
That's a queen.
Okay, yes.
The queen cell.
Good eye.
And there's another one, right?
Yep. So this hive probably has a virgin queen that came out of this cell.
I don't see any eggs yet.
I think we can move on.
Yeah. Let's just leave it be.
So this queen has not mated and started laying eggs yet.
What was that screen that was here between them?
Well, that's called a queen excluder.
All three.
The wires are spaced such a distance that the queen cannot fit through. So she gets confined below where you put the screen, the excluder. And then, so she won't be up above here laying eggs.
Now you know that's just all honey.
Exactly. Okay.
Oh, well, that's easy. Just slip it right in there. Oh, I see. It's all set up for that.
Yes. This has a special name. It's called a cloak board. It was named after some guy in New Zealand named Cloak.
Cloak.
Yeah, with an E on the end.
Very confusing because you think it has to do with like cape. You know.
Oh yeah, or a Klingon cloaking device.
So, where you put them right in a hive. It's already now. The queen downstairs isn't going to sense that kind of right upstairs is another queen, that the proximity doesn't bother.
Not anymore because they're divided.
Uh-huh. So that means that when that division, that means that even the females, there's no communication really.
That's right.
So the ones upstairs see the new queen, there's no other queen around, and that's why they adopt it.
The divider effectively makes this two different hives right now.
Right.
There's a queenlet down below, but they're isolated from what's above it. So what's above it is now queenless, and they're going to have the desire to raise new queens, even though there's a queen down below. If that metal divider was not there,
So
if the metal divider was not there, they
Right.
wouldn't accept our new queens, because they would sense that there's one down below.